Hi everybody, welcome to the second video on our linked list class. We're going to keep on chugging away. Alright, so we have our default constructor that we wrote last time. We wrote our private class node, which is a nested class inside our linked list. And we got our member variable. So let's put another method here. We're going to put a member method, and this one's going to be public void insert method that takes some integer, let's say v, and so this is what we're going to use to put elements in our linked list. We'll call this member methods. All right, what we want to do every time we're doing an insertion, we're going to say create a new node. All right, so we'll say node, new node is equal to a new node. And this node will use our constructor over here and accept that value v. All right, so that will create a new node, a new one of these that we see over here that has the value v in that value variable. And currently it's pointing to nothing. All right. Then what we want to do, we want to put this in our linked list. All right, and we'll check. We'll check to see if our head is null. That means it's pointing to nothing. I'm sorry, equals. If our head is pointing to nothing, if it's null, then we can just say head is equal to that new node. Now our head will be pointing to that first node that we put in our linked list. All right. Else, which means our head is not pointing to null, that means that we have nodes or a node on our linked list, and we have to, keep on following the chain of nodes until we find the last one, and then we can stick the new one on the end. All right, so we will need to travel through the list to the end. All right, how do we do that? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to say node, let's call it last node, and we'll set it equal to the head, because we know that there's at least one node if we have triggered this else condition. And then we can just very simply have a while loop that says while last node dot next is not equal to null, and if the last node, which, dot next, is not equal to null, that means there's another node in the linked list. So then we can just say last node is equal to last node dot next. Okay. And once we get out of this loop, this while loop, that means we've reached that last node that has null as its as what it's pointing to for next, and then we could just say last node dot next is equal to new node. Okay, so how can we display this? Let's do this real quick. I'm going to, yeah, you guys get to see all my apps. Cool. Yeah, Mr. Sands plays Valorant. All right, so let's get this here. Let's say we had this linked list, and I'll create some shapes for that. Let's say I have this linked list of nodes, boop, 3 nodes, right? And these nodes point to one another. So this one points to that one, this one points to that one, and this one currently is pointed to null. All right, so this is my linked list. The head of our linked list will reference this, and let's say our linked list contains the values 9, 4, and 7. Now the user wants to insert 3. When they do that, what happens is a new node is created. This node has the value 3, and it points to null so far, which is just mean it points to nothing. All right. Then what we do is we create this last node variable. Oops, that's not how an L is written. And it points to our head. And it says, all right. Well, first we check. Is our head null? No, it's not. So then we create this last node, and we point to our head. Then we say, okay, is the next thing null? Well, no, it's not. So what we do is we say last node is now pointing to that next thing. So now it points here. And then we take a look at this thing. Is this pointing to null? No, it's not. So then our last node is equal to the next thing. This is what's happening in our while loop. Then we take a look at this. Is this pointing at null? Yes, it is. So we no longer change what last node's pointing to. And it says last node dot next. So this dot next is now going to point to our new node, which is right over here. And so our new linked list, if I can clean up some of this nonsense, our new linked list, oh, I messed up my node, will look like this. That points to that, that points to that, that points to 3, and then this will point to null. That's how the insert works. All right. So we have our insert method. What I'm also going to do real quick is I'm just going to write one more method, public void print. And this will just print out to the console a nice version of our linked list. So I could say node current is equal to the head, or whatever. I could say system.out.print a bracket just to lead off this array. Then I'll say while my current is not equal to null, which again means that we're no longer using a node. I'll say system.out.print current.value plus, and then a comma space, and then current is equal to current.next. All right. Then after this while loop, I'll say system.out.print ln, another closing bracket. We'll see this tomorrow. Now this is fine as a print. If you want to make sure that the last value that you print doesn't have a comma on the end, you could actually just get rid of this and put another system.out.print with that comma space. And then what you do is you just put a conditional in front of it that says if our current.next is not null. Which means, well, if our current.next is not null, that means there's another element in the linked list, so we can separate it with a comma. But if the current.next is null, then obviously we don't need a comma because there's no more elements to print out. We can just end our print. All right, so this is good for now. Tomorrow we're gonna have our last video on this where we test out our methods. We'll add another constructor for the linked list, and we'll actually get to see this in action. But yeah, this is good for now. Please don't forget to do the daily attendance if you haven't already. Join the Discord server if you haven't already, and try to enjoy your day if you find the time. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.